His hand touched the side of my head, and the ear that was gone came back. But before you understand what that means, you need to hear how I ended up on my knees in that garden, bleeding into the dirt, staring up at the man I had come to arrest. I am Malchus, servant of the high priest. I carried the torches. I stood at the front. I came with soldiers and swords, and the full authority of the temple behind me. And he knelt beside me anyway. How do you arrest a man who just put you back together? The night was cold. That is the first thing I remember, the kind of cold that settles into your knuckles, that makes a torch burn somehow lonelier against the dark. There were soldiers with us, temple guards, men who carried clubs and swords and the full weight of religious authority. We were not afraid. We were certain, and certainty is its own kind of blindness. I had heard the stories. A rabbi from Galilee, healings, they said, crowds following him like floodwater following a valley. But men with power always gather crowds, and crowds always scatter when the soldiers arrive. This would be no different. It was different. Everything was different. We entered the Garden of Gethsemane, the air heavy with olive trees and turned soil, that smell of something old and quiet. And there he was, standing, not hiding, not fleeing, just standing there, as though he had been expecting us, as though he had been waiting. That should have been my first warning. His disciple moved before any of us could react. A blade short, quick, and then the world tilted sideways. I heard it before I felt it. A sharp, wet sound, then heat, then pain like fire poured directly into my skull. I dropped to my knees, the right side of my face, the ear gone. Blood ran hot down my neck and onto my collar and into the cold night air. I could hear them only through one side, and the world sounded wrong, lopsided like a cart with a broken wheel. I was waiting to die, or waiting for someone to finish what his disciple had started. Instead, he came toward me. Not away, toward. He was kneeling beside me in the dirt. The soldiers had gone still. No one moved. Even the torchlight seemed to hold its breath. His hand touched the side of my head. Something moved through bone and cartilage through the place where there had only been torn absence a moment before, and then wholeness. I reached up with trembling fingers. The ear was there, smooth, unbroken, as though no blade had ever found it. He rose. There was something in his face, not triumph, not pity, something that looked almost like grief, like a man walking towards something he had already accepted. He let us take him. He let us. The soldiers bound his hands. I stood in the garden holding the side of my own face, feeling an ear that should not have been there, and I watched them lead him away. I did my duty that night. I followed orders. I brought the torches. I stood at the front, and he healed me anyway. A man with 12 legions of angels at his word. He told his disciple that himself chose this, chose surrender, chose to stop and kneel beside the servant of the man who sent soldiers to take his life. I came to arrest him with authority and torches and a sword at my side, and in the dirt of that garden, he showed me what real authority looks like.